So with today's downward pressure, I will tell you, I did take an opportunity to buy into it. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. We cover the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel, so if that's content that you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel and smash the notification bell. And of course, if you like this video, please smash the like button for us and feel free to drop a comment below. Today was a rough day for Bitcoin. It basically traded down from the opening all day, and it dropped significantly from yesterday's close of the market until today's close of the equity market. So we will take a look at the chart next, and then we'll look at a few Bitcoin miners in specific. Right now, I want to look at the Bitcoin miner big board. So you will see this is 100% red. So every miner was down today. Some miners were worse than others, but for the most part, this was a very big down day. 9%, 10%. That was quite common on this board. It looks like Bitfarm had the biggest down day at 12.32%. And Bitfarm has been extremely volatile lately, more so than even the other miners. CleanSpark actually had not a bad day. It was down 4.1%. There were points on the day when CleanSpark was green today. CleanSpark has been very strong since they announced earnings and had a very good conference call last week. So some other notable ones, Hut 8 is down 11%. Marathon and Riot are both down over 9%. So today was a tough day across the board. Let's go take a look at the chart and see why, see what happened, and see where we might be going next. Okay, this orange line right here, so this is the Bitcoin chart on the 30-minute time frame. This orange line right here was the closing of the equity markets yesterday. So from the close of market yesterday until the close of market today, Bitcoin itself was down about 8.5%. So the fact that the miners were down 8, 9, 10, 11% actually was not bad at all compared to the action on Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin was down nearly that much itself. Bitcoin was down about $3,000 from where it closed the day yesterday. It was down about $2,000 from where it opened the day this morning. From the middle of the night last night, pretty much all the way until right now, which is right after the market has closed today, Bitcoin has just been drifting down and sometimes not drifting. There were a couple of times it jumped down, here once, here, and here. Remember, these are only 30-minute candles. The 30-minute candle right at the close of the equity markets got down to $40,099.99. So it got very close to $40,000. So what I'm hoping here is that we bounced off of $40,000 and we're headed back up. We did have a green candle after that. We're in the middle of a little bit of a red candle, but I'm actually going to delete this line right here because it was a short-term line and it's no longer meaningful. So we're kind of stuck in the middle of 39,600, which we did not get down to and test. However, it does look like maybe we bounced off of 40,000. And in yesterday's video, I was saying I was hoping that we would hold this pink line right here at around 42,400. That was the flash crash. That had been a short-term line of support. So you can see by taking out this pink line, which we talked about on the video yesterday, and then continuing downwards, we have set a lower low, and we did not want to do that. That is a bearish signal in the short term. So there were a few signs today that went a little bearish. So I will tell you that it looks to me like we might have another day of pain left in this process. So right now what I'm hoping is that we just hold this line at 39,600. We may hold above 40,000. Maybe that was the bottom. If not, I'm hoping this line holds, because we don't want to go too much lower here. We're still, when we zoom out, you'll see we're still trending upward in general. But this obviously was a very, very rough day, and it's a big setback. And if it doesn't fix itself quickly, then it will start to be more and more bearish of a signal. All right, so this is zoomed out to Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So you can see in general, we're still heading upwards. Obviously, this was today, and this hopefully is going to be an anomaly because we're in about a 1-month upward trend here. So if we can bounce off of this and get back up around this line, just get back to where we closed yesterday, we would basically be back on track and we would still be in a bullish trend. So I'm hoping in the next 24 to 48 hours, we get back to where we were yesterday at a bare minimum, if not beyond, because I'm still looking in the big picture to get to the purple line at 45,700. So right now we're stuck. We crossed through We crossed through a pretty considerable line of support, which was the flash crash number at 42,400. We stayed above this line of support, which dates back to this point right here, which was back on January 10th. So we managed to stay above that. We managed to stay above 40,000. So now we have to see, are we going to go down and test some spots further, or are we going to turn around and head back up? And again, I don't know which way we're going, so I hate to guess, but it does look like a lot of the very short-term indicators are pointing down for the next little while. And by little while, I just mean 1 or 2 days. But at this point, nothing would surprise me. We do have wild swings. There was really nothing in the indicators that I saw that showed this coming today. It looked like we still had room to run. A smaller, more natural pullback would have made a lot of sense, but this was a significant pullback, and again, it was really just no indication as far as I could see that this was coming. So, maybe it's an anomaly and we'll turn back around. The market was awful today. The NASDAQ was down almost 3%. There's some geopolitical stuff that is not looking great right now. So, all those things have a short-term effect, and I suspect that that was a big part of what happened today. So I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. Zooming out one more time, this is the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. So you'll see this dates back to this red candle here was January 22nd. So that's coming up on a month ago. And this line has been a pretty decent line of support on the way up for almost a month now. We did go below this with a fairly big red candle back on February 2nd, but jumped back above it with a much bigger green candle on February 4th. We've held above it ever since, and then you can see today we really took this out. So if we don't get back above this line quickly, it's kind of going to nullify this line, and we may be in for some short-term bearish action. So with today's downward pressure, I will tell you I did take an opportunity to buy into a few stocks. I increased my position on Hut 8 as well as Hive as well as Bitfarms. So I thought those presented good opportunities today. If we do have another red day tomorrow, if there's more downward pressure, I'm looking closely at Riot and Marathon because they pulled back again almost 10% today. And their market caps are getting awfully low versus where they've been over the last year. So I will tell you, if we have another red day tomorrow, there's a few stocks that I'm looking at, and they're the larger cap stocks. Riot, Marathon, and Core Scientific, I will potentially be either opening or adding to those positions tomorrow if we have another down day. Particularly if we head down overnight and we open down, if we gap down on the open. Those are the first three I'm looking at. And I will tell you, I always on pullbacks, I'm always looking at Bitfarms and CleanSpark. I think they're the two most undervalued. I think they are the two most undervalued miners right now, but I did just buy into Bitfarms today, and CleanSpark hasn't pulled back that much, and it's had a huge run up. So we'll see. I have my eye on those, and again, I don't know until tomorrow comes, and that's just what I'm doing. That's not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence, and obviously you guys got to manage your own portfolios. The other miner I'm looking at, and I'm not ready to buy yet, is stock ticker SDIG Stronghold. They do something very different than anybody else. I think it's very interesting. I want to really dig a little bit deeper and make sure it is what it seems like. But they have an unusual and a good business model, it looks like. So I think they're at a fair value. Their market cap is very low. So I'm still doing due diligence on that. If you guys are interested in that one, let me know and drop a comment below. And I will consider making a video on that one if there's any interest in it. Okay, so with Marathon, you'll see this bottomed out on January 24th, as did most of the Bitcoin miners. It's had a nice run up since then. It got all the way back to this purple line, which was its September low, the September 29th date that we always look at, for those of you who watch the channel. That was the low at the end of the September bear run. So Marathon had gotten back up to that, and it's pulled back now a couple of times. So I think these pullbacks are a buying opportunity. Now, they need to perform. They've got about 60,000 machines that they're sitting on that they haven't been able to plug in yet. So it would be nice to see that over February and March, they're able to get those machines running. That will drastically increase their hash rate. They already have one of the highest hash rates, Core Scientific notwithstanding. So I'm going to go back to December 3rd. That was the day of the Bitcoin flash crash. Again, Bitcoin was trading somewhere in the $57,000, $58,000 range at that time. So that's what I'm targeting over the next 2 or 3 months for Bitcoin. So it makes sense for me that Marathon should get back to that same price. So that would be just under $50, and that would be about a 90% increase in the price of Marathon's stock. So that's what I'm looking at as a price target. And again, in the very short term, it's very hard to gauge in the next 24 to 48 hours. You've seen the wild swings that we're going through. But if you look at the last almost 4 weeks, by and large, we've been heading upward, today being a big exception. So we're going to see if this is a big exception and we keep heading up, or if this is the new rule and we're headed back down. I don't think so. So again, this is how I'm looking at Marathon. You guys got to take a look at this yourselves and do your own due diligence and see if this is a good buying decision for you. The next one I want to look at is Riot. And I had told you guys I was looking at myself tomorrow potentially buying into positions on Riot and Marathon. Riot had gotten extremely oversold. This thing was under $13. This was close to an $80 stock earlier in the year. So I'm actually quite bullish on Riot. If you watch, I did a video last week on Riot. They had a good January. They've already set themselves up for a good February, and they kind of gave us a clue as to what they'd be doing in March as well. So I expect their next 2 operational updates to be very positive. So for that reason, I'm bullish on Riot right now. Riot is not even back to where it was trading on September 29th, which again was the end of the bear market in September. So it's still almost 40% off of that low. So I believe that Riot is extremely oversold. That 40% to me should come back regardless. But if we do the same thing that we did for Marathon, you'll see that it's about 91% increase in Riot stock if we get back to the December 3rd date, which was the date of the Bitcoin flash crash. So again, very similar in nature to Marathon, and that's why I'm looking at the 2 of them. I think they present some nice upside and minimal downside risk, in my opinion. So please do your own due diligence if you're looking to buy Riot. All of these stocks, as you can see right now, are extremely volatile, so invest with care. So I'm just going to finish up on the 30-minute timetable for Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin chart on the 30-minute timetable. You'll see this big red candle was the candle that we closed the equity trading day out at. So we have been trending upward a little bit over the last hour and a half. So too soon to call it a trend, but possible bottom here at around 40,000. So I hope everybody hung in there today. I know today was a tough day. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.